Hello guys, sorry about that. I just had some connection issues. Should be up and running now. Hopefully everything is good to go. Looks like it's excellent. We're going to go over here and test the volume. Alright. Stream. Alright. Stream. Test, test, test. Alright. Stream. Test, test, test. There we go. Alright. Alright, so where we left off, we were looking at just optimizing the shopping mall map that we're going to be working with and changing it all up. And because when we first went in there, it was like 10 frames. They threw a lot of props in there, and it was really, really slow. So it's one of the shared levels that a lot of other levels that you're going to open up. So it's just gonna construct, and then it's gonna. This is the frames we're getting to begin with, but once it's finished constructing here, we should see it pick right up. Yeah. So I did a lot of changes since we last were here, and I did a lot of updates, and depending on where I am and stuff like that, you should see it more hover around the 50 frames mark, and we're gonna keep on working on that. So what I had been doing is I've been taking, remember what he had as blueprints. So you just go to this door here. What he has is these blueprints, and they're just static meshes and stuff. And then I've been swapping them out with, or he has like example here. He has this shoe rack, which is just a merged object. And if we go back up here to like one of my things for Old Town Cafe, sure. I've been swapping out what used to be a chair and a table blueprint for an individual chair and table, and these chairs and tables, the chairs and tables, if you go into them, they have the nanite enabled. Also, if we go into the simplified material instance, they have physics material attached to them, which they didn't before. And so if we do anything, people know that this is a metal object, and so if you shoot the legs, it will go ting, you know what I mean? Like, and also with that being the case, play here. Not too sure I tested everything, but it should work here. Yeah, we could actually walk into stuff and actually knock it around. You know what I mean? And I haven't got everything, so the stools won't be done and stuff like that. But I'm working on it. I've been also getting the doors is what's kind of up next. And yeah, have you seen the sorry, have you seen the thing on the right change? I can't get a way. I could go this way. You'll see it expand because one of the other things we were doing is depending on our distance, it will load and unload assets. So right now it's just test, but like so you can see those things kind of pop in and out. You kind of don't want that to happen. Like well, you don't want it to be visible. You want it to slowly pop in and pop out so it doesn't have all the actors. But you could also see in the on the right side where my detail outliner is, there's also how many objects are loaded right now. So we're running at 21 frames with again, my character can do a lot of stuff because it's the full survival character, but it still has like, and this is in editor, and it still has like 6,000 assets rendering right now, and we don't want to be rendering all of those assets, right? So that's why when it says like 6,000, when we start backing up here, we could see it drop to 5,500, and that's because those are the assets that I started working on and started disabling if you're not close and within the. And originally when we first loaded up this map, there was like probably close to around 7,000 actors that were always going to be loaded. But again, we've been working on it. So one of the things I wanted to kind of start with as well is picking like one area. Now that we did most of the blueprints and we're kind of looking at this like um, we minimize these here. We're kind of looking at just blueprints and static meshes, and most of the blueprints are like just doors, right? I want to start really getting the optimization up from the 50 frames. And another way of doing that when we're dealing with the new Unreal Engine 5 is partitions. And as you see, I have a new tab here from compared to last time we were here, which is data layers. Now, data layers are like Unreal's, the old Unreal streaming instances, alright? Oh. So, there we go. I'll say it all here. These, I want to see if there's actually sometimes lately Unreal's been doing that. It's not been like saving my deletions. So I've actually replaced some objects and they're not actually, you can see I got my door that's open. I'm just gonna have all the doors open for now. We can come back later and have closing doors and stuff. Okay, let's see this one. This one is an actual door. Same with this one. So, okay, we're back to where it's supposed to. We'll save all again, and hopefully it actually saves the deletion of those assets. We'll go a little fast. We'll go back to those ATMs. Right here. We'll go back down to speed. So, starting from maybe this side of the building, we're going to work on data layers. And as you can see, you could even section it off and have sub-levels. So the first floor, we're coming in, we have our foliage assets. Our foliage assets was shows you. Okay, these are not foliage assets, but the grass and stuff is. So I might do something for the public area for these guys here. But just like before, the actual foliage is on these guys, so if I go to swap them out for my meshes, it'll actually destroy the foliage, and then I'll have to worry about the foliage as well. But these mats are part of the foliage assets, and so we might fix those up later so they're not a part of the foliage. Foliage is kind of good because you could do culling and everything like that, but we'll stick that for culling foliage just for actual foliage. So you might want to do things with the other stuff. And foliage, again, for people who don't know, it's just plants and grass. That's usually what it is. Foliage usually is like the plants, the grass, the shrubberies, and all that stuff. But technically, because the plants, the grass, the shrubs, they're just static meshes. Some people go and add them as if this everything's a shrub, because the way they load in grass and stuff like that is a pretty efficient way. And so just try to save some performance. They do that, but again, you don't really have. There's better ways of doing that because now these things are they're always loaded in memory space in a sense, and so it does take up some more performance. I don't know how nitpicky it is, but yeah. So if you see here, what we did here is I did a test run just before. This unloads and loads, and this is just the visibility. So you could probably hold off on clicking the unload and load all the time, and then I could go and I could load just these. And so like I said, the old Unreal, you dealt with streaming instances, so you have like a trigger volume, like okay, the person's walking towards the door, and when they walk towards the door and they're going to go through the door, you hit this invisible volume that they can't see. Remember, a volume's just like these things here. Big squares that can cycle the whole area. So these are my blocking volumes, so that way you can't actually hop outside the map because you hit this invisible wall here that won't let you pass. So you have another one of these volumes, and they call like a trigger box. And when you hit that, it says, "Oh, I'm what do you want?" You could set anything to it, and what I would set to it is, "Oh, this person is near this area. Stream in these objects here, like the objects that are in this area." And so when you actually come in the door, it seems like the ATMs were there the whole time. You know what I mean? In this case, it wouldn't be that extreme where you're right behind the door for me. I'm gonna have the first floor, kind of like certain assets like the ATMs or this here, unload if you are like maybe on the third floor up here. So it's not likely that you're gonna be jumping off the edge and killing yourself down here, and need an instant load of those assets. And with them unloaded, it's just gonna cause save some memory and bandwidth and memory, because you're not having all these objects in. Starting from here, we look at the fitness room. There's nothing in the fitness room, so we're gonna have to build the fitness room. I do have fitness room assets. We'll open these doors up and we'll get all the fitness stuff in there. And then we have this dress code, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna, just like this here, we got level fitness, but unfortunately nothing's really going in level fitness because it's there, because there's nothing there. We could do another one for like, maybe we could F2 public area items, and maybe we'll do another one which is right clicking, new data layer, and we'll call it public area structures. We'll just rename this actually to the clothing store. I'm thinking because these pillars here, we're gonna figure out a way to unload them a bit if we're really far away. But I think we're gonna unload them with remember, there's two different ways to unload because we want them loaded no matter what floor we're on. So if we're on the third floor, we kind of want to be able to see those pillars. You don't want to unload those pillars. We might have some sort of hierarchy mesh for the clothes, so it looks like you can see some sort of clothes there. But the pillars, they're just a square, so you don't need. It's already a super simple mesh. So the clothing, you could get some sort of flat mesh that looks like the same object, or really low poly count of that, low LED version, and you have that there. But this here is already super simple, so you want this loaded. But when you get like this far back, you don't want it loaded anymore, and that's where we had in the world settings, the world partition settings, where we have the store item grids and the main grid. So we might make a structural grid, and so depending on how far you are away, it will load. Just kind of like the store. We could actually even probably use the store right now, but I think we'll come back. We're going to focus on some data layers today. That's something different we haven't done on stream. So I'm going to actually change this to this store name here, because this will be the data layer for this store, and we'll call it, so it's dress code. And in this store, we're going to add some items. Before I want to add these items to this data layer, unfortunately, I want to make sure that these are all stuff that I can like kind of vouch for, that are good to go. And so again, unfortunately, I'm going to do it as quick as possible, the same kind of thing where we're going to open our windows. We got our browser 3 here. We're going to click on this details panel, static mesh, and click here, so we're on it, and we're going to find where that is. So now we have this mesh. It is called merge clothes 5. It's blue and gray. Let's go to our Windows, our content browser 2, sorry. And this is where I have my finding home stuff. We go to static meshes, interiors, we got store stuff, and this is going to be a clothing racks. And you can see that I kind of already just got a big jump ahead and added all, just copied these all over and kind of started renaming them. So you just kind of click the items, and you just normally would do Control C, or like you go to Edit and you copy or duplicate. Edit. But, or you could just actually drag and you can copy or move. Since I'm not moving it. So we know that it was number 5. And so I think I just call it a suit rack because it looks more like a male kind of blazer kind of, or like a tux top. And so we're gonna open that up, and you can see we have a bunch of materials. It's instance rack, and we got hat 1 and hat 2. And so if we click on this guy specifically again, we look and we got hats 3 and hats 1 compared to the original, which is hats 1 and hats 2. We have hats 3, and hats 3 is actually going to give it a different color, and that's just using different material instances, which is actually kind of performant, so that's fine. But we're going to use our own. So to do that, we want to look at the material instances that he has here. So 3, 1, and 1, or 5, sorry. We got our tracksuit, we got our material instances that he's using, and we are noticing they have the same blend ID as they did before, and that's how they're changing the colors. So we have our simplified version that I had made. So we're going to go, now that we've got that object, we're going to go back to our content 3. We're going to go to finding home, F5, finding home, our master materials, and we're going to go into our blend ID. So our blend ID, I have set it up so it's nice and simple. Base colors, the colors, channels that we could use for editing it, using multiplies and lerps. Just the roughness here, and the normal maps, and the strength of the normal maps there. Compared to if we were to go open up the parent class, let's open up the parent class here. This was the something doesn't. Yeah, so this was the original. It just kind of seems all wacky. There's all these extra stuff in it. It's not that bad actually, but mine's a lot more cleaner and has a lot of the extra stuff taken out. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to create a material instance of that, and we're going to want to kind of drag that into our material instances folder here. Move. And so this is for suits. So remember it was our suit rack. So material instance F2 suit underscore, or sorry, rack underscore ID blend, and then when I add a color to it, I just put quotations in the back. So we're going to open that up, and so hats. We're looking at hats. Hats 1. This is also hats 1, and this is rack. So 2 hats in a rack. So we'll do the suit rack. Yeah, well, I'll call it the same thing. All right. So what we want to do is click on Window, our browser 3, we want to click on something, and then we're going to browse to the, yeah, we'll do the rack first. We're going to browse the rack. And this is the rack here. So this is rack 3. So we don't want poster right now. We want all the racks. So we're at grab rack 1. I hit caps lock by accident. We're going to shift click. We're going to grab all these racks and we're going to drag them over. We're going to copy here. And for rack, we are actually using rack 3, rack 3, rack 3. Because this is the first rack we're touching, we're just going to call rack 3 our rack 1. It's going to just be rack, normal, rack 3, rack, ARM, rack 3, rack. Remember, we're changing this to base color because that's what we have a lot of our stuff for. And rack 3, this is our ID. Rack ID. Ooh. We will also have to kind of fix this up here. I screwed up and I put them into the material instance folder. That was my bad. We're going to have to go to our finding home, static meshes, interior buildings, stores, clothing racks, textures. We're going to want to grab everything but shift click and unclick that. We're going to move this here. So we don't have any problems. We're going to go back to building interiors, right click store, fix up redirectors. There we go. Should be able to go back in now, clothing racks. So now our texture's there, our rack is done, they're all at the top. And we're going to want to click on our file here, go to our suits. Our normal details, we'll leave that the same. We're not trying to lower anything there. But we want our ID, our normal, and we want our base color in there. Now this, I just want to get rid of base. I just don't want to use his, so later on when we delete all of the stuff that we're not using, it just comes up. And so this is the basic rack. And we'll save it just as is. You can see he did a little color change here. So when we go back to our rack and our material instance, we're going to duplicate. And what is that? Off purple? We're going to do off purple. Sure. And then for this off purple, since we're done with our basic guy, we're going to go to here. We're going to light up these 3. We're just going to make sure that we get the same color that he kind of has to keep things the same for now. We will change it later to make sure we just like the looks of everything. I don't even think he changed the color. I'm not too sure why he activated these, but just in case. And that's one thing. It is a rack, so I believe it's going to be metal. Yeah, there's a lot of metal to the rack. There's a very little area that's wood, but again, it's all sharing the same material. We could use the ID later, maybe to change how bullets and stuff would affect that material, depending on the ID. But for now, we're going to set this to metal. Save that. And we need the content browser 2. We need to open this back up, and we want to make sure this is set to metal as well. Save that. So now we got our metal racks, and they're set up. And we could get rid of this rack. But now we still need the hats. So it's still in the clothing area. We are going to duplicate one of these, hit F2, and instead of hat, we're going to call it suit because it's the first object that we got. Suit blend, suit, and so we want these. So we want to go back to our content browser 3. Make sure we click somewhere on here, and we're going to browse for this hat texture. So we have hat 1, and no, we needed a hat 3 as well, didn't we? Oh no, they're both just hat 1. But there might be 2 different hats if he's labeling it. So hat 1. And then hat 2 is just a different diffuse color, but it has plaid on it. Where this is just flat, this is plaid. So we're gonna want that too. So this is ground. This is just a picture. So we are gonna want this. So we're gonna go and back to our content browser 2. And we're going to go out into our textures. We got our content browser 3, and we're going to copy these here. And again, this has our suits in it. So it's hat, suits. We could almost go back and just change this to clothes. I might actually just do that. Do clothes. Base color. F2. Oh. F2. That has all the clothes and hats included. Clothes. 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 So now we got our clothes, base color 2, different types of clothes, and we'll go back to our material instances. We'll change this from suit to clothes. Material blend. We'll open that guy up, and for our hat 1, or we want this. We're going to go back to our textures actually. Bring this over that our textures are done. And we want to get our clothes. And we want to get our ID. And we want to get our normals. And the base is the same. So our clothes is all in there, normals are in there. This is all base. It's not going to be metal anymore. We're going to change this to fabric. I want to make sure that when you shoot this, we have our material instance for fabric. We're going to save that. We still need these colors. We want these colors. So we're going to go back to our clothing rack, our material instances. We're going to, now that we have this, we're going to duplicate this. Or Control D. And I'm just gonna call it dark, because one of the colors is just blackened. If we double click this, this is all white. I'm not even gonna change that. This is all white. I don't even know why they clicked it. We could just literally, the way I have it set up, we could just click this one and then darken it. So we have our dark here. We're going to go to hats. We're gonna copy this color here. We're going to enable this one, and we're going to paste it. You can hit Control P2. So now we got our darkened kind of gray there. Oh yeah, it was literally just darkening some things. You can see the wood here. It's kind of like a darker brown on look. Yeah, just kind of darkening things a little bit. So dark, I think, is a good name for it. But we're gonna duplicate this again, and again it has our fabric here, so this is good. We're gonna duplicate this again, and this time you need hat 3, which looks like we could call this green. Green. Yeah, we'll go green. So ID blend green. There we go. And we'll open that up. We don't need dark anymore. We can close that. We don't need our base ID anymore. We can close that. We don't need our hat one because we're finished with that. We can close that. What we do need our this one here. We're gonna copy this blue. We're gonna open these all up. We're gonna paste this blue. We're gonna copy this gray. Paste this gray. We're gonna copy this green. Paste this green. Save that. Nice. So now we got our fabric, we got our version in our folders. We can close this. Now we just need to update our kind of suit here to have the base. So we want clothes. Clothes. What is this? Clothes. Oh, clothes with an S. Clothes. Suit rack. You could probably just actually do rack. That's all it is. It's just a rack. And make sure that our textures are. Yeah, I think we actually did that. We actually call it just rack. Yeah. All right. Let's just close. ID blend. Oh, no, that's actually the rack. My bad. I rack ID blend. These ones are just gonna be close. Whoop. Rack. ID blend. There we go. Our rack looks the same. Looks all decent for now. We want close. ID blend. Close. ID blend. Now normally you could put like hats too, and so you don't have just this double plain gray. But we'll save that as this be the base. So that's also right. We want to duplicate this, close, and we'll call it plaid. Plaid? Pattern. And that's just called pattern simply because I actually don't want to mess up the spelling of plaid, and I don't want to look it up right now. So oh, we'll just change this all back to white for its defaults. I was like, wow, these colors are really messed up. But we can have different colors of plaid now for variety. White, and now we can click this off and we can save. And so now it's defaulted to white. Yeah, you get your plaid, you get some yellow. So pattern works. But the default will just be the default suit. And then we want to change the suit rack, we can. We'll have it changed in the instances. So now we got our clothing racks and stuff. So now if we take our suit rack out, open our suit rack. We gotta make sure we have nanite enabled on our suit rack. One other thing I just want to check on my vending machines is that they are actually set to the right. No, they're not. So we're gonna go to our world settings for our partition. We're gonna store item grid, and that's where we're gonna make sure we put our store item grid. So that way if we're too far right now, the vending machines will disappear. That's the nanite kind of loading and unloading. It's fine. It's because it also takes your computer specs into effect, and so right now, with everything that's going on in the editor, it doesn't think I can handle a higher portion of that. So we're gonna pop these into each one of these, and then we're gonna go back to our thing here. We can right click, we can move this to our, do we have one? Static meshes dress code. And so if I off click to something and then click on it again, it's going to bring us right up to dress code. And looks like we did a door frame interior. Looks like, oh, we did the door here. Alright. So we got our suit rack in the dress code. And you can see our suit rack is the wrong direction, so we will just do a 180 here. And we kind of want it down. Now we could here. Now this time for this rack, we're not going to apply physics to it because it is a clothing rack and we don't want it to. So we're going to go 20 here. And we do minus 1345. And 5845. Sounds about good. And now we can delete his because we have ours. We also want to fix our colors. So we have the rack, we have clothes ID. We wanted to have that nice green there. So let's try that. And bam. And now if we wanted green on this side, we could just do green on that side. So we could actually flop them if we wanted. So we could go blend here and we could go green here and bam. There we go. Got different color suits. And I'm sure if we wanted green, we could just double it up. Yeah. So we're going to take our suit rack and we're going to duplicate it, drag it back, and we're going to do just 0 here. So we want this still to be 20, and this to be a little bit farther. Yeah, 6,000. Whoop. And now we could delete this clothes rack. And so now we got our 2 clothes rack, but obviously we want that plaid looking color on this side here. So on where the gray is, we're gonna want our pattern. There we go. Boom. Now we got some variety here. Let's So again, the big thing we want to do with this too is we want to make sure that we have our world setting item here. So because that will allow it to, same with the suit rack here. That will make it disappear if we get too far away. We'll unload it. And the big thing, now we could actually have a couple of samples here. We're going to work with our data layers. We got our dress code here. And it's as simple as, oh, Twitch guy. As simple as, you can just even drag it sometimes from the world. So if you push this down here, right, because you might not be using a lot of space, you can go to the outliner, you could have these two clicked. And you could just simply drag and assign it to that. Or you could right click the object and or you could right click here and you could add it when you select it, select selected actors and selected to selected data layers. So now those are there. So now if I hit the just code disability, we got that. And this also allows us to load and unload using triggers and all that stuff. So depending on where the person is, again, especially if he's right above us, we don't want to have those clothes loaded in the instance. And then we wouldn't have the 6,000 actors or the 20,000 actors always in. And then we'll see our frame rates go up. So that's an example of getting the suits in there. 35 frames. I guess we'll continuing on. We'll slowly get this all done so that we get to work on the phones and stuff. I think the clothes and stuff will go a little bit faster because again, it looked like a lot of those hats and everything are using a lot of the clothing using the same kind of materials. So we look at this details, static mesh component. Maybe I'll bring this up a bit so we have a little bit more room. So he has hat 4, hat 4, hat 5, and it's still that rack. It's just still rack. Rack instance 5. And that's it for the clothes. We're still using the same materials and stuff. So when we go to, this is finding home right now. This is clothes merge 4. We can click here and go to that. Clothes merge 4. Again, we can kind of see what it looks like in here. Zoom in a little bit bigger. Clothes merge 4. You get the pants and stuff, and you got the t-shirts on the other side. Right? Kind of scroll that down now. Oh no! Kind of scroll that down now. And we're gonna get again our content browser 2. We could save this here. We could just save all actually. Save all. And again, now working with world position, even though we have this massive map, see how quick it is to save compared to our first kind of level. So again, it's gone a lot up. So we're looking for pants and t-shirts. So it'll be one of the mixed racks. And did I just call it pants rack? No. Oh, right, it's actually just the pants. Derp. The t-shirts are a rack behind it, so I'm just looking at the pants rack, the basic first pants rack. All right, so we're gonna open that up. Got our pants rack. We're gonna want our rack ID. And see, there's 0 change, so we got that. Looks like we're going to want our clothes ID, or it looks like we want our green. Nothing's changed. Looks like we're going to want our pattern clothes ID. We're going to pattern. And then for the last one, we just want it default. Close ID. We just want it our default. Oh, a little bit darker wood. So we could do the darkened. Yeah, that's the darkened one. That's fine. There we got our pants. But I might actually just do close blend, close blend, close blend, and save. And we could close these two now because they're. Oh no, we still want the pants. We still want to put the nanite on the pants. We nanited the coat rack. Did we do that? Suits. Yes, we nanited the suits. There we go. We want to nanite the pants. So now we can close that with it nanited. We already know our materials are done. So we want to drag our pants in there now. Don't mind the pictures. They would come back. So it's pretty good. Let's get it even. So minus 1635. We'll do 5845 and 20. This 5845 as well. Yeah. So this is six, so this will both be 6,000. But now this pant rack. Kill that clothes. These pants rack. What we want to do is do green, pattern, and plain. And now those pants are the same. Yeah, sometimes Unreal has like a material saving kind of like when you're doing a bunch of stuff. So when I close and save and reopen, it should fix the material so it's not so bland. Like I showed you when we first did the material, it was fine. It's just having some sort of like I don't know. It's working with these normals because there's two different normals. It's confused for some reason. But I'm pretty sure I got the right normal. So when we first did it, it was fine. Alright, now we got these button-up shirts. So we click this close one, so just probably put it as t-shirts. Yeah, t-shirts, T-rack. I'm gonna open this up. We're just gonna rack ID. You can see that in the grain is just with the rack ID. So if for some reason I close the engine and open back up and we don't have a fix, then I'll look into that rack ID to see where I might have grabbed the wrong texture or something. 22222 4444 1111. So I'm pretty sure I grabbed the right texture. It was all 3. This should have been 333. You can see in the base that it has the sign right here. So why it would be blurring the sign has to do with something with the normals. But it's fine. You're right. Yeah, we could just double check the rack normal, but we're fine. See, there it goes. It fixed it. And we didn't do anything. It's just probably like loading shaders or something. But like I said, I've had that before. Oh. Is that always striped the whole time, I guess? It's good to know. Alright. So it's a double stripe. So close 13 and close 7. Whew. And rack 5. T-rack. So we could actually close this and we could close these pants now. We got our T-rack here. So we get our rack ID. We know that's the same. But we might want to take our 6 and 7, or 13 actually, because this is the base. We want our 13 and you want our 7. But if we go to our content browser 2, material, we already opened our T. For this, we're going to just want our close blend and close blend. Really? So dark there. These t-shirts aren't using the same. Oh, they're not. They actually have a close thing. So they're finally not using the hats. That's good to know. So we're going to need new textures. We're going to have to open up Window Browser 3. We're going to have to click on Window Browser 3 somewhere. We're going to go find these things. Close 7. Oh, there's a bunch of clothes here. So we want cleaning, 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 close till we get to close 9. Move this over here. Close 9. We'll drag this down here. We'll copy here. And we could just minimize this now. This is using clothes 7. This is also using clothes 7? Yes. So this is clothes 7. For us, it's gonna be, we're gonna go clothes 7. Clothes, oh, I need a little bit wider in this case. There we go. We're gonna go clothes 7. Looks like we got, close that. Looks like we got aim, diffuse, normal. Where's our ID though? Uses close 6 ID. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to think. So we have close base 2 close, right? But there's should be multiple bases here. If I want to match the rest, right? So do I call this, do I call close 7 close 3 really? And that way we have the base color that matches the ID. So like they all match, so we kind of know. Yeah, I could do that actually. Clothes base color 2. And that's kind of how I'll do it. So, we want to first get 7 F2 close 2 and F2 close 2 normal 7 close base color, so plane 2 and F2 close 2 normal. So this one here, I'm gonna hit. This is where you get to like slight mistakes. I need this one to be 2. There we go. So there's close 2, close 2, close 2. We also want close 2 ID here. Close 2 ID. We'll try to put this down there again, so it's text close 06. There we go. It's kind of, where did it go? Yeah. There, now it's with this. Now it's with the rest of them there. Alright. And with that, we could go finally back into our material instances. And we got... So we're going to take our clothes and we're going to do clothes 2. Clothes 2. Oh, we don't need the third one. We need this one. We just need to go back to our textures. Clothes 2. Clothes 2. Clothes 2. Clothes 2. There we go. So we will now try to do clothes 2. So if we go clothing rack, material, clothes 2, we could actually just click it like that. And that's your base T. Right? So then we go to the clothing rack, T, rack, drag this out, and it's 5845. So 5845. We know this is 20. And we know this is going to go this way. This is 1345. So do 13 minus 1345. Oh, 6,000. Sorry. 6,000. So this is 1635. So this is going to be 1635. This is supposed to be 6,000. Now we just delete this guy here. Oh, T-rack. Minus 1635 and 6,000. But obviously we need to change up our colors here. So if we go back to T-rack, we know we want 13 and you want 7, which 7 looks like it's just actually white, white, white. It's actually just the base. 7 is the base. Okay. But 13 isn't off blue. So, we'll call it light blue. So we need number 2, material instances. We're going to duplicate this. And we're going to do blue. We're done with this guy, fabric, and everything's good. So, and this one's the same as the base, so this is good. We're on this guy. Those are both white. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just going to click this guy and paste that in there. And so now we should be able to... Oh, our material went all wonky again. But as you've seen last time, it will fix itself. Just probably doing some shading stuff. We just want to go to this one, and we want the off blue. There we go. Yeah, even his signs are all messed up now. It's affected both Mhm. Now, just like the other ones though, we're going to want these to have the load, unload. Scroll up. And we're also going to T-rack. We're going to want to move these to dress code. Dress code. We are also going to want to go to our data layers, and we're going to want to drag these guys into our data layers. And now we could also load and unload these guys. Boom. And so now these pants should be quite simple because we already have the pants done. We know these pants are the same pants, so we could just literally hit Control D. We got our pant rack 2, and we're going to just drag it over here to about where that is. I go back to our depel panel. I'm also just going to make sure it's at minus 1925, just so it's nice and simple. We're going to just delete that guy, and now we got our nanited. And since it's duplicated, we will already have our that set up, but we do need to add it to our data layer. So we're going to go to our data layer. Oh wait, it's already going to be added to our data layer as well. And yeah, so getting some progress here, working our way around. Now, these are button-up shirts. These are the button-up shirts. So we should be able to duplicate these and bring these over as well. But we want to 7 and 6. So we want to see what 6 is. 6 is using all of 6. And then just white. Okay. So we want to then open our browser 2. We want to go back to our clothes 2, and we want to duplicate this. And now, do you want to say blend 2? It's not what we did before. So what I'll do here is I'll actually change this to underscore pattern to match what we have over here. And this one will be blend. And now if we open this up, now we got to go back to our actual textures because we are using these guys right away. So we're going to go to here, and we are going to make these 3. And div 2, close 3. I didn't want to do that. That's fine though. So we will click this, insert, click this, insert, click this, insert, and we'll leave that with 2. We'll save that. And now, when we click on ours, we can do, this is off blue and this is pattern. We want the off blue to be just blend. There we go. Now we can delete this guy. Now look, his textures are all messed up and my textures are fine. What do you know? Yeah, now we got that normals thing sorted out too. There's no floating normals all over the place. Alright. Looking good, looking good, looking good. And so, and again, if we go and we minimize this now and we go to our data layers and we unvision vision, this goes, and then we click on this actor and go back to our details and we scroll all the way down. It's also a part of their store item. Just to double check these things though, I think if we also open our T-Rack, it was not nanited. That's the one other thing we gotta make sure we do. Apply that nanite to it. We save that. So these things are good to go. And again, we already checked our pants. But we could double check our pants. They have nanite. Oot. And our suit tops. And we double check that. And that has nanite. And so now we have all of our saving stuff in going good. So this is another set of pants. So we could duplicate this here. Now, this guy sadly didn't even change these pants up. He just kept them the exact same. We could come back later and we could add some variety to that. Get some red ones, blue ones. Like we know now we have the ability to change lots and lots of colors. So, and again, now it's just as simple as that. Since it is the exact same, it's automatically in the layers. And again, if we went to the details panels and we clicked on it, it would also still have the it will only spawn in with the store item. Remember, I can actually make that visible too. I think it's actually in the world settings to make it visible. You can preview grids, and so these are the grids for the that I'm working with. So if I go out, you can see that this is all I'm rendering for the blue area. The blue area is the circle that is rendered. For the white area, you can see it's much larger. Pretty much. Whoa. I think it's all because it's just reflecting with the things. So the white area is pretty much what we're going to have a lot of the building stuff on. So if we're way down the end of the building, we still want that end of the building to kind of spawn. But later on, we might have other things out there that when we're on this side of the building, we don't want anything spawning out there. Or if we're on this end of the building, we don't want anything spawning out there. So that's what that other main grid is for if we go to add levels to this. Alright. And so we're gonna unpreview that now, so we don't have those graphic-y things. These should be items. Might also do these. But it looks like a lot of the stuff is no longer just a quick copy paste. We're gonna have to do the pants. We're gonna have to do the shirts here. So yeah, let's do the pants because we've already done everything beside the pants. And again, it's pretty weird that these pants are like that long. So it's like these are like short pants. So they're not shorts, but they don't seem like they're. If you look at these pants here, they're definitely don't look like the same size. So it's definitely weird. So look at these short pants. If we go back to our content browser 2. Static. Oh, didn't want to go that far out actually. I just needed to fix that. Anyway, it should be building interiors, stores, clothing racks. There's pants folded in the back. See, it's not quite the full length of the pants, so you can't even say it's like two pants, but I didn't even see those pants in the back. So I don't know if I should have just called this a mixed rack then. But it's clothing instance 6, which we already have, and clothing instance 7, which is just the pattern version. There's a pattern? Alright. Alright. So that's not much of a change there. And the rack. Oh, let's just make sure I didn't forget about rack. T? No, I did it. Okay. So that was the last one we worked on, right? T. And they're probably going through all of them. So rack ID. Boom. And then we'll be just doing close blend to close to blend, and so this will be close to blend. And then, oh, we want to add nanite for sure before we forget. And this will be close to pattern. Bam. Done. And again, this is where we know, okay, so copy that, minimize this. Oh, this is the wrong thing. I'm going to open that back up. We're going to have to drag our pant 2 rack in here. And our pant 2 rack, that's the one we're going to need to add our runtime grid to. We're also going to need to add it to our correct folder structure. So move to dress code, And then we're also going to need to add it to our data layers. So we're going to go here, and we're going to drag this down to our data layer, and now we are good to go. Just like the other side though, I will kind of match it up. We're going to go back to details. So the X is 1345, so we'll click on this guy. We'll do minus 1345. And this guy is, ooh, we didn't set this guy up. We'll do 5350. That's what we'll do. 5350. That's 1925, and this is 20. This is 5350, and this is 20. And this is 1345. This is 5350. And this is 20. And now I could click that guy and delete him, and now we just have our good pants right there. Bam. And so when I load in, and say if I'm working now on the 3rd floor and I'm working on this carousel room where we're having like a playhouse thing, when we're having like some sort of daycare kind of thing, I can actually just unload the 1st floor, and all those items are not loaded anymore, and my frame rate should go up, right? And so I could actually work on things easier. And in game, like I said, you could access the data layers and blueprints. So the next looks like this long sleeve shirt. Looks like we can almost knock a bunch of birds off with one stone here if we do that next. It looks like all these racks are pretty much the same. They're just different colors and stuff. So we'll go back to the details panel. Clothes 2. And so we'll go to our console. Shirt. And it's 513. That's what it's using. So there's 2 different ones here, but they look fairly similar. It's definitely the first shirt pack, I believe. Yeah, so mine's gonna have nanite added to it. And again, this is just rack ID. And clothes 6. So this is just clothes 2 blend. Oh. And the clothing, the texture's all done perfectly. So we close that, we now close that, we close this, close this, we close this, we close this. Now we just need the shirt rack here. Minimize this. We're going to need to add this to our dress code, and we could go 1345 as well. Yes, 1345. Oh, 45. Unless we go 50-50. For 5,000 actually. Oh, 5100. 50, 75. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, it's also supposed to be 20. There we go. And so we know that this is actually more like a plaid. So again, we click on this guy here. We know it's clothing 13. And the 13 was our blue, or off blue. So we click clothing 2, our off blue. And again, our texture's a little messed up right now, but as you can see, they kick in and out. They kick in and out all the time. So we can delete that guy. This is where we're gonna need our store things, because we got a new thing added in. And yeah, so some of this stuff gets kind of the same over and over again, but again, we're gonna get those numbers up there. And again, if you're here on the last time, or maybe the time before that, when we first got this level, it was like maybe getting 10 frames. Now we're getting 50. And as we do this, as we go along, we'll get it right up to 100 frames, 125 frames. So it's slightly tedious, yes, but it's definitely worth it in the long run. And so we want to go to the data layers, and we're going to want to drag this into the data layer as well. So now when we look at it, it all goes. And now we could actually just duplicate this, and this will have, again, all of our settings. It will have the store now, and it will be a part of the data layer. And we're going to kill this. Oops, Control Z. We want to check the details. It's using clothing 14. Clothing 14 is using 6, 6, 6, 6, but it's actually like an off purple. So we have a new material we're gonna make. So browser, we're gonna go to materials, and this is clothing 2. Duplicate this one, and we call it off purple. Off purple. Just this color here. Slightly different. Looks kind of purpley to me. Yeah, I could say that's like off gray or purple. Or purpley. Save. And so off purple. And we can, now we can get, oh, whoa, what's going on here? Off purple. Six. Oh. Textures. Close 2. Close 3 color. Should this all have been close 3 then? Just didn't really matter much because a lot of the other stuff is the same. There's no close 3 ID. Does that change? We got our white color anyway. It's 20, 60. We're still at 5. There we go. All right. So I'm getting that weird graphics glitch error, so we're gonna fix, let's just double check this here. Grid. And with all this weird texture issues, I'm gonna close and reopening. Just wanna make sure, there we go. So if we do shirt rack 2 now, we can duplicate that, bring that over here, detail panel. What do we have going on over here? 1635, maybe we'll do the same thing here. So that's 1635. And again, it's just that off blue. Off blue. I have to look at the screen for that. Right, and yeah, let's set this to 20. That way we could delete this here. Seven, so it's just normal, I guess. So duplicate that, bring it out here. $50.75. $50.75. So let's try that. Just normal blend. No. Pattern. There we go. And we should be able to now delete that guy. Now we get the 2 signs back to back. And it's a bigger collar. This is clothing 3. So I take it it's supposed to be a different shirt? Oh, it's just more tightly pushed together, I guess. Blend 2 in the rack. So we quickly do that. So window. Oh, I just have to click here. I've got other 2 clothing racks and shirt rack 2. Woo! Oh, shirt rack 2 actually. Shirt rack 3 is actually different. Shirt rack 2 is not different. Alright. Except it just has more shirts. So, again, rack ID. And close to ID blend. Add nanite. Save. Save. Now, another trick that you can do is so you could duplicate this, bring this over. See what this is. This is 1925. So you do minus 1925. And this is 5075. So you do, oh yeah, so just like that. And then what you can do is then you can just click this here and do shirt rack 2. We don't want the pattern though, we want just blend 2. And then we can delete that, and then that's how you could get shirt rack 2 in there and still have the data layer and still have the store item grid without having to do that over and over and over again. You could still just copy it and change the item. So now you could just paste this one and it's going to be the same here. And this is 495. Of 65. Uh, 1925. This is 1925. 20. Now I got that. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Okay, 65. There we go. Now we got it all figured out there. And again, now we can unload the whole store, load the boom. Like that. All right. Yeah, I think because I'm an editor, it still kind of has all these assets loaded in memory. Alright, so I'm going to close this now and save selected. So I'm going to cancel save all. And then I'm going to close and reopen. Hopefully some of those weird material like fade in, fade out, fade in, fade outs go away. Then we'll close. Pop up the Epic. And we'll go back to our version 6. Yeah, so once I get above 60 frames, then I'll start again, like I said, going through and working on getting version 5, everything, walking through, checking, getting everything in there. While we're loading that, I did pick up, just to kind of streamline things. Oop. The launcher kind of like froze. I can't look around. I was going to show you guys. I picked up like a kind of a horde template just for the horde mode kind of thing. This Pro AI spawn, picked this up. So it's just gonna, so you have like hordes of enemies that can come chase you. Enemy waves. That's another way of putting it. Waves, respawning AI, limited AI. Just so I have a basic, simple thing for now. Until I could really dive in and get that stuff working, and then we have something kind of fun that we can kill. We're getting in the clothing thing style fixed for some reason. Maybe if I open the... So that's kind of what I want. This is a blank level, nothing in it. And I'm hovering around 110 frames with stream up. So that's kind of what I want. Something closer to that. So let's go to finding home. Levels. Shared. The mall level. Open this up, check it out, see how things are going. So yeah, I think compared to the last stream, I did get some stuff done while I was away. I've been trying to get as much time to work on this as possible. So again, a lot of the stuff I'm showing you. Oh, so we saved it multiple times, and Unreal is just having a thing right now. It's such a powerful engine. It's such a great engine. So, I mean, little things like this, I really don't mind. It is slightly annoying, but it's just checking everything every now and then. But you can see, we definitely deleted these things. Now we have duplicates. Doesn't look like those ones duplicated, but this one definitely did. Oops, I switched the colors on this one. I don't think that really matters. So like almost I should just like click on a couple of these clothing here to see if oh, I didn't do that one yet though. Oh, what? See, that should be actually a duplicate. Yep. That's all in another store. Okay. Another store. So we just got to do these T's here. And again, because we're using nanite too, it also has a level of detail. So when we're a far distance away from it as well, before it loads and unloads, I have to go this way, I guess. Oh, it's gonna stay loaded. I'd have to hit play. So you kind of see when you're looking at the suit here, or even right there a bit, once you get a certain distance away, nanite auto kind of takes things in and puts things out as well. That's another reason why we put the nanite on everything. And as we get a certain distance away, they'll also unload those objects. When we get back closer, they'll pop in. But now we could set that pop in to be a better distance. I just wanted a certain distance so I know the pop in's working for now, and then later on I adjust. You know what I mean? And then so yeah, then you'd have something so when you go up the stairs, it fully just unloads completely. You know what I mean? We don't want it even in the memory at all because it could still be loaded. Or at least if we're on floor 3, we could unload floor 1. Etc. Alright. If we're on floor 1, we could unload floor 3. That kind of stuff. So again, we could duplicate this, bring this over here, and then we'll change it to our clothing t-shirts when we get there. So we want to do static meshes. We're looking at interiors, stores, clothing racks. This would be the t-shirt section. So T's, there's the T2. Clothing 5, well, it's still rack 1, so rack 5, sorry. We just want to do rack ID. So I think the other rack's supposed to be like racks in other stores or something. And again, once you get one store kind of done, it'll get easier and easier and easier because some of the other stores will be using some of this store stuff, you know what I mean? Like these racks and shelves and stuff, some of them will be reused again, so you don't have to kind of make that model. So slowly goes faster and faster. So a rack ID, and we want clothing 5. This is using clothing 4, using a whole new ID. 4, 5, 4, 4. So we're going to do that same thing again. We're going to have the pattern kind of thing. We need 4 as well. And 4, 4, 4, 4. Alright. So one's patterned. Yeah, one's patterned and one's not. Alright. So we're going to have to go to our windows, content 2, materials. We going to want to duplicate 2 and call it 3. We're going to go to our clothing racks textures. We're using 4 and 5 here. And so 5 is the pattern. I guess, or it's just a different style. Four is still like a type of pattern. But 3 and 8 are completely different. So we'll call 5 the pattern version. I'll also change this to be 2 actually, and F2 2 2 F2 2 2. Because when we go to our material instances, we just have 2. Because we've been calling it a pattern. So for this, we'll actually switch all of the 5 and 4 up. So 5 will be pattern, or 2. So if close 3, F2 close 3 base color F2 close 3 ID close 3 normal. And then for this guy, because it's literally the same, we will do close 3 base color 2. And we'll do close 3 2. There we go. And so we'll go back to clothing, we'll go to material instances, and again for this guy here, so we close 3, close 3, 3. And begin. Mix colors, normals, 3. And it's already fabric. So we'll save that. 3GT. Install base. Then we will go back to clothing materials and we'll duplicate this and we'll call this one pattern, just like we did before. Even though it's not so much a pattern like the other ones, we'll go back to clothing to textures and we do close 3, 2 and close 3, 2 for normals. And everything else is the same, it looks like. We just changed the normal and the texture for the pattern. Here we go. So, we'll go back to our T. We enable our nanite. Save that. Well, we could close 3. Pattern. We got our pattern going down here. And for this one is close 3, just blend. That's fine. And then now, and that's the base. And so we'd always just change the colors up later as well. So those bases are done. Like I said, the nanite's enabled and stuff, so that's done. And these guys are done. So now if we click our pants, we go to our detail, we could just do our T rack 2. The only thing is, we just kind of hit the back button here. That's going to kind of reset our clothes to be proper. And then we're going to 20. We're going to 180 this guy. And 25 and 584. So it's probably 5845. We're gonna do minus 2150. It looks like here. 2. This is 180. Oh, that's what I want the other guy to be. So I move this, paste that, and then we'll delete this guy. And so now we got our basic nice tees there all set up. And again, because we did a copy paste, it's part of that. And we'll have the store item already in it. Moving right along. And so this has that set up too, right? It's been a while since I looked into the doors yet. Oh, but the door, this is a door item. We don't need to have this loaded, actually. So we could also drag this into our dress code. Just double check. Yep. So you don't need to load that door either. It's just one less thing that needs to be loaded out. Won't see it. So now we did all the interior items. Start with the walls, I guess, and stuff. Oop, that's not a part of it. That's part of the foliage. Start with the fitting rooms, I guess. So we'll click here. We've got the fitting room. Oh, it's after. So yeah, I'm gonna start with the edges. You guys got a kind of a feel for this. I'm gonna see how far I can get off hours when I'm not coding on stream this week. And I think, again, you guys got the hang of this. I don't want to just keep showing you guys the exact same things every single week, doing the exact same boring stuff. I do, but it is important to kind of see how people are making and how people are like doing performance stuff. So you get kind of a feel of how it works. But so yeah, next week I might just try to go into trying to get some stuff like code stuff done. Show you guys some code stuff, see what I can get set up there, and so I can get rid of version 5, so everything from version 5 is in this version 6. And thank you guys so much for watching the stream, and sorry for the hiccup at the beginning. Yeah, thank you guys so much, and you guys have a